G'day, I'm modelling Gordon Station on Sydney's leafy North Shore between 1909 when the line was duplicated and 1926 when it was electrified. I'm modelling the northern module of Gordon Yard. In this video I'll be showing you some pictures of Gordon Station in 1909 and some recent photos, as well as some photos of my module. Gordon Station was rebuilt in 1909 with a local platform for terminating suburban trains and a goods siding. Passenger trains comprised American suburban cars hauled by S-class tank locos. They ran at 10-minute intervals in the off-peak and every 3 minutes at the city end of the line in the peak, all controlled by block instruments operated by station staff, enough to keep a model railway busy. Around 110 suburban and 2 goods trains operated daily in each direction in the steam era, as well as other workings including steam tram motors hauling electric trams to and from the isolated North Sydney system, and construction trains for the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Signals and points were controlled from a 30-lever Mackenzie and Holland frame under an extension of the platform building roof. I had decided to install point rodding, and the DCC Concepts point rodding cranks allowed me to make it operational. I didn't plan to physically connect rodding between modules, but will be using separate motors to drive this rodding, as failure of rodding would mean failure of points, and as my project progressed I'm sure this is the right decision, although I've ended up using a lot more point motors. There are 3 places where rods cross under the tracks, and these have each required some planning. The most complex has 9 sets of rods at 3mm centres using cranks of different heights. 3 operate the 3 points, catch point and facing point lock on this module. The other 6 head to the next module, which is not covered by this entry. To get accurate location of the cranks, I laser cut an acetate base. Space is tight as I've set the tracks at a scale 42mm centres. An alternative would be a 3D printed base, or if you're a good craftsman, make your own. I've removed the bases from the cranks to locate interholes in the acetate base. While I used short and medium cranks, it seems a better option to use short and high cranks to reduce interference. Note that it's a good idea to use curved cranks in a congested location like this to allow closer spacing of the cranks, but these are only available as medium height cranks. The motors to drive the rodding from the lever frame are mounted between the tracks on the opposite side of the platform. And as this rodding is out of sight, I've used 1/16 brass tube for the rodding and 2 3D printed guides. A 0.8mm hole is drilled through the tubes for the actuating wire from the motor. The second crossing has 3 rods. These are spaced between alternate sleepers, so are at 8mm centres with no variation in crank height. Again, I've made up a laser cut acetate base. For the third rod crossing, I've just used cranks. This crosses under 2 tracks. Heights are critical. I've cut away my 3mm cork underlay where the cranks and chairs are located and used 1mm thick laser cut ply spacers to get the rodding at the right height to get through the 2mm high gap under the rails. My chairs at this crossing also require a 1mm packer with the 3mm cork underlay cut away. Because of the very long run of rodding, I decided to add extra drives for the 3 rods operating points on this module. As with the drives near the lever frame, I've used 1/16 inch brass tube for these drives with holes for the drive motor wires. There was unfortunately no reason for a shed to cover these extra drives, but I'll be placing a pile of replacement sleepers to hide them. The forces to operate the rodding are much higher than to run points, so I've reduced the flexibility of the spring used with the stall motor drives by placing a 1/16 inch brass sleeve over the steel wire. The length of the brass tube is varied to get the required spring strength. Colouring of rodding is a challenge because of the risk of increasing friction. I've used 3 different processes: chemical blackening, painting with Woodland Scenics paint marker, and coating the rodding with powdered graphite. I think the last option may well be the best, as it covers the rodding in lubricant. Thanks for watching my short video. I hope it's given you some ideas on DCC Concepts point rodding. For me, it's allowed me to convert from non-operational point rodding to operating point rodding. I'd like to thank DCC Concepts for making these great parts available.